This YCN segment is brought to you by Harris Family Furniture in Plymouth, Laconia, and Chichester.
Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Brett Franklin from 94 ESPN Radio. And Brett, we talk Celtics every week, it seems like. 1 week they're up, 1 week they're down. This week they're a little bit of both. Losing a tough one over the weekend, but then coming back with a win on Monday night. They travel, or they host the Cavaliers on Friday, so they have some time off. Have they hit rock bottom, as Kyrie says, or are they turning a corner? Where do they stand?
Yeah, can you go any lower than what we've seen so far this year? I don't really know. I don't really know, Jeremy. I mean, I was speechless on Monday. I know it's hard to imagine that, but I was speechless on my Monday radio show after that game against the Mavericks on Saturday. You know, I don't know if it's so much, the X's and O's at this point with this team as it's much to do about effort. Much to do about hustle. I don't think we've ever said that about a Brad Stevens-led team. And clearly these guys read the headlines. Clearly they thought that they were better than what they really are coming into the season. But really, it's up to guys like Kyrie Irving right now to get this team going. The coach can only do so much. Brad Stevens can only put out so many lineups until guys in that locker room have to step up. And Kyrie wanted out of LeBron's shadow in Cleveland. He wanted to be the man. Well, this is your chance right now, Kyrie. Somebody needs to step up, whether it's number 11. Where's Al Horford? He's the veteran on this team. Where's this players-only meeting, closed door, where guys hammer things out and kind of let it all out on the table right now? I'm kind of wondering where that is right now. Maybe it's happened, but if Kyrie wants to, has wanted to be the man, well, this is the chance where he's got to step up and leadership has to be shown here. I don't think it's been shown right now by the veterans.
It surely has been an interesting season, and one that obviously we saw was Gordon Hayward. He struggled out of the gate. You talked about that. He finally got sat on the bench. He's limiting his minutes. What is his immediate role? I mean, obviously long term you think, okay, when it gets to April, May, he's going to be fine playing 100%. But right now, in the next month or the end of the year, is he going to just be on the bench for 20 minutes a game?
I think he's probably right now your seventh, eighth man off the bench right now. And if it were me, I would cap him off at 15 minutes a night. Beginning of this year, he was logging close to 35 minutes, and Brad Stevens has kind of bumped him down here the last few games. But clearly he's just been playing too much. Clearly the Celtics put a little bit too much on him. And yeah, he said at the beginning of the year, I'm ready to go, I'm 100%. I think that was just a little bit of him trying to show that, he's not going to let the injury bother him. But I think the Celtics maybe rushed him back a little bit more. I think at least until you can see it in game action, you've got to limit him to 15 to 18 minutes a game right now. There's no way this guy should be logging close to 30. His shot select, lowest shot percentage of his career right now. It's a struggle for Gordon Hayward, and I think they need to kind of ease him back in, and that means cutting his minutes.
And that might actually help with Brad Stevens' rotation, knowing he doesn't have to give everybody 30 minutes a game and get touches for every single player, kind of easing him back in.
Well, you look at Monday night against the Pelicans and that win. There was no Jaylen Brown, and that's one less guy that Brad Stevens had to worry about getting in. That may have been a blessing in disguise for Jaylen Brown, too. He hasn't been playing well at all this season. Maybe kind of take a night off, take a step back, and kind of reassess things. I imagine Brown will be back for Friday night against the Cavs, but I think that's another game where you can just kind of let guys rest that maybe need to kind of get that extra day. I'm not saying you can overlook the Cavs because we've seen the Celtics overlook many teams this year. But it'll be interesting to see less games here down the stretch here. Game on Friday, I believe a game on Wednesday, and then a game on Saturday. So, or if they have a back-to-back this week,
Friday, Saturday,
but then they have a little bit of a window. So we'll see how that works.
Okay, you bring up Jaylen Brown. Now, of course, this is going to sound crazy, but would they ever think about trading him? Not because of anything wrong, but because they have so many pieces. We thought it would work, but maybe it's not going to work because once Hayward's healthy, we know Horford steps up. Tatum is obviously the better of the younger two. Smart, Baines. There's a lot of mouths to feed. Would they, or is that just crazy talk and not even entertain?
No, I don't think you can never say never. I wouldn't trade him. I think he's an athlete. I think we've seen last year just a little bit of sliver of what this kid can be. Listen, he was logging a lot of minutes last year. There was a lot of expectations and pressure put on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Now you come into this year, there's more guys available. This is the same with Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier has not played well either. I think it's just getting acclimated to a full team. I'm sure we probably would have saw this last year with the Celtics team if everybody was back healthy. But we're seeing it this year. And guys who saw a lot of minutes last year are adjusting to life where they're not expected to have that much of a heavy hand in this offense.
Yeah, and that expectation you talk about, that went out the window last year with Hayward's injury, so then they didn't really have as much pressure. Now it seems like it's back, and they're not able to take care of that. But quickly, before we hit the break, they've got 12 games before Christmas, or including Christmas Day game. 8 of them are at home. What do you see them needing to do to kind of get that swagger back?
Yeah, I mean, if you can at least win 6, 7 out of 8 at home, then I think you take that. By the turn of 2019, this team needs to start kind of getting it together here. I would not rule out a trade, though, for Danny Ainge. I think there are guys that will be on the trade block. Maybe a guy like Terry Rozier, but I would not put out a trade here before the New Year's out.
So the next 12 games, it's going to be tough. Christmas Day against the 76ers. See what comes with that over the next month. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk some NFL, and we got our Salt Hill Pub picks of the week. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.